I was reading on the Mondo Vice website this morning an account of a young woman in Gaza, Arij al-Rantisi, and she lost family in last year's murderous onslaught by the Israeli Defence Force, and she lost childhood friends in the onslaught which is just seems to have finished over the weekend. And she writes of the experience of her 4-year-old sister, Alma, as Israeli rockets rained down all around them, and on top of them, her 4-year-old sister, Alma, asking, "Will we all die?" And Arij answered her sister, Alma, "Don't worry, these are just fireworks." And then Arij writes, "Alma is 2 wars old now. Nothing gets past her. Whatever lies I tell her are instantly mocked. When Israel isn't able to kill our children, it settles for killing their childhood." And when you put this latest slaughter in a line next to last year's slaughter, this year, 44, 47 Palestinians dead, 350 injured, 1,500 houses destroyed last year, 260 Palestinians killed, 2,000 injured, and a line that goes back to 2012, 2014, and of course Operation Cast Lead in 2008, 2009, where 1,400 Palestinians were murdered in Gaza. And you see that what this is not just some unfortunate coincidence. It's not just something that happens to happen once in a while. This is a strategy by the apartheid state of Israel, and it's a strategy of dispossession, it's a strategy of annihilation, it's a strategy of genocide. And you don't have to take my word for that. You can read the words of Arnon Sofer, who's widely credited with being the architect of the current Israeli strategy in Gaza, and he wrote in the Jerusalem Post in 2004, "We will have to kill and kill and kill, all day, every day." In black and white, that's Israel's strategy. And of course, that slaughter continues, that dispossession continues, that genocide continues, and as we've heard from the speakers before, that resistance, that daily steadfastness and resistance continues as well. And we're here today standing with that resistance. And I think there's 3 reasons for that. Number 1 is that we know the damn difference between right and wrong. And any human being that hears those stories knows what side they're on. Reason number 2 is because the Australian government, and in particular the Australian Labor Party, I have to say, sees a special responsibility of Australia to be the Zionist entity's best friend.
Shame.
Times have there been United Nations votes where it's the entire world condemning Israel, and against stand the United States, Israel, maybe a couple of Micronesian states, and Australia, shoulder to shoulder with the murderers of Gaza.
Shame. Shame.
And that puts a special responsibility on all of us, I think. And finally, and just as importantly, as Martin Luther King once observed, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The technologies and the tactics of surveillance, of control, of infiltration, of coercion, of murder, those tactics and technologies are exported from Israel to countries around the world, to militaries around the world, to police departments around the world, including here in Australia. So if we see Israel as one part of a global chain of oppression, one particularly intense and vicious part of that chain of oppression, we have to recognise that that is one of our front lines, and that those resistance fighters in Palestine are part of the front line for us. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's why it's so important that we keep standing with Palestine in whatever numbers and whatever occasion we can. So congratulations on the gathering today, and let's continue it. Thank you.